Filleting a fish is a really simple technique that everyone should learn. Not only is it great because you learn to understand, I guess, the anatomy of a fish, but it's actually really cost effective because you get your own 2 pieces of fillet. On top of that, you can then make your own stock. So today I'm going to essentially show you how to fillet a snapper. So I've got a beautiful snapper here. I've got a really nice filleting knife. First incision you need to do is just behind the gill here. So you're going to work on an angle towards the front of the fish. So you simply work your way in right behind the gill, like so. What you should already have, if your fishmonger's been nice to you, is a really nice clean cut incision underneath the fish here. Alright, where they've gutted the fish, taken all the extrails, and you're set. So from there, from the top of the fish, you want to make swift actions, all right? So you don't want to be too aggressive. Just nice, and using your 2 fingers on the top of the eyes, you want to make nice, swift action at the top. Even just a line. Cool? And just keep doing it along that same line, and you'll keep getting a nice incision. Again, against the bones. So you'll feel the bones, you click them each time you go across. That's exactly what you want to feel as you get further and further into the fish. And you can see it's starting to pull away, which is what you want, like that. As you get further down to the fish itself, you find it easier to maneuver and get to the tail, which is what we're going to do right now. Go back to that same incision that I had at the start, make a little incision again, and you hear a bone crack, like that. From there, what you want to do is just slowly go against the grain, because you're breaking all the slight little bones, not putting too much pressure on the fish itself, because you don't want to squash the meat. So as you can see, the fillet's popping up nicely. Next incision is towards the tail. And all you do now is using the very tip of the blade, you're going to push down, so you're getting maximum effort against the meat, and sliding your way through. There you go. There's your first fillet. The second side's a bit trickier, but again, with practice, you can do it for sure. So underneath that fin, underneath the second fin, against that grain on an angle towards the head, right up. And again, you're going to make those swift angles all along the top. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to go against this way. But as I said, the more you be aggressive with it, the less likely you'll get a clean cut, and you want a clean cut. Again, be sure that if you're making that sounds so good. See, it's falling apart already, which is good. Coming right up against that bone. Cool. As you can see, not much meat left on the bones. So, which means maximum meat on the fillet. Okay, and now again, going across that grain, work your way along, breaking on those bones. Again, not being too aggressive, don't want to squash that fillet. It's good. And then come back against that last incision here. You got your second fillet. So you got your fish bones. The fish head is particularly full of so much flavour, the cheek itself. What I'm going to do is going to remove the eyeball. I'm going to wash it out. I'm going to chop it up into separate pieces, and then it's going to be ready for our stock. So there you go. Instead of having to purchase your own stock, all you got to do is a few aromats, and you got your own your own fish stock there. And it's beautiful because it hasn't got any extra preservatives in itself. Put that aside. Last thing you have to do with your fish, the fillet, is just take the excess bones off. You've got to work your way along, and you'll feel the pin bones. You can either use the tweezers themselves, which you can just pick up from your local supermarket. If you get good at it, I'm still practicing admittedly, but if you get good at it, you can almost remove them in one slice. So again, using the angle of the blade, they kind of go almost like I like to relate it to surfing, right? So almost like a barrel coming over here, which is going to foam up. So I've got to get underneath that on an angle, and I've got to work away from me. Like that. So they've gone under and now towards, and now away from me. So they got no bones at all in one swift action. And that's one fillet done. Repeat the same thing the other side. Two fillets, all in one action. There you go, guys. Now I'm ready to cook some snapper.